Before I got here, I thought for a long time that the way out of the labyrinth was to pretend that it did not exist, to build a small, self-sufficient world in the back corner of an endless maze, and to pretend that I was not lost, but home.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine for just a moment, if you could, we're going to take a 2.5 millennia journey back in time, roughly 500 years before Christ, encounter the philosophies, the history, the mindset of the Buddha. Mr. Halter. Mr. Halter. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it would seem as if while I'm up here straining my lungs for your personal edification, you seem to be more interested in something that you've encountered outside. Pray tell, would you please enthrall us what it could be?
I was just looking outside at the hill and thinking about the trees and the forest like you were talking about earlier.
Let me explain this to you this way. If you'd like to maybe transplant yourself outside so you can closer study the relationship between the trees and the hill, why don't you take yourself out of here and leave the educational portion of the day's pursuits to those of us more apt to pursue it?
Are you kidding me? That's so messed up. You can't just kick him out of the classroom. You drone on and on an hour a day and we're not even allowed to glance out the window?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what glancing out the window has to do with adding to your acumen and knowledge set of the Buddha. So, you know what? I think instead what we should do, along with him leaving, maybe why don't you just take your things and maybe you can both leave and leave education to those maybe more suited to it, and you guys can maybe ponder the notion of a future putting stickers on fruit someday. Yes, thank you. Quietly, please, thank you. The rest of us, if we could just put our appropriate focus back on the Buddha, we will continue on. So, the Buddha.
But that only led to a lonely life, accompanied only by the last words of the already dead. So I came here looking for a great perhaps, for real friends and more than minor life. And then I screwed up, and the Colonel screwed up, and Takumi screwed up. And she slipped through our fingers, and there's no sugarcoating it.
We are all going to puke if all we do is drink. So, we'll slow it down with a drinking game. Best day, worst day.
Never heard of it.
Because I just made it up.
Fun. What are the rules?
Well, each person tells the story of their best day, and then the person who tells it the best doesn't have to drink. Till one of you pukes.
How do you know it'll be one of us?
Because I'm the best drinker and storyteller. Why don't you go first, Pudge?
Can you give me a second to think of one? But that part of us, greater than the sum of our parts, cannot begin and cannot end. And so it cannot fail. So I know she forgives me, just as I forgive her. Thomas Edison's last words were, "It's very beautiful over there." I don't know where there is, but I believe it's somewhere, and I hope it's beautiful.